Good morning, everybody. The day is Saturday, May 23rd. I'm going to scoot in here. I was just creeping off to the side. Get a little bit brighter light here. All right. Good morning. It's Saturday, May 23rd, 2020. Made it through another week. Quite an accomplishment these days. Give yourself a pat on the back if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Well,
Trump creeper!
Just a reminder for everybody, please do mute yourself as you come in. All right. Well, welcome to Saturday morning breakfast. This morning for breakfast, I have got an overhead camera, but also some scrambled eggs, toast. And by scrambled eggs, I mean single scrambled egg. I'm not super hungry this morning, so one scrambled egg will do it. Before I get to our guest this morning. We are 1 month in now for Saturday morning breakfast. So I was going back and reviewing these previous weeks, and I noticed something peculiar, and I want to see if others can tell. So I got some screen grabs from previous weeks. This is last week's. So we've got, there I am, okay. And we'll go the week prior. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh my gosh. Week prior. Here we go. Week prior, right there. And then the week before that is right there. Now, I'm not sure how good everyone else's observations are, but I'm wearing the same exact shirt in all of these instances. The same exact one. And I didn't intend for that. I guess I need to pay more attention to what I'm wearing. The funny thing is, I don't even really normally wear that shirt in my everyday life. So the reason, why I chose that one, I don't know. But I'm gonna make a point to switch it up each week, so I'm not wearing the same exact thing. All right, moving on to our guest this week. He is a very longtime friend of mine from high school all the way up to now. He's a fantastic woodwind doubler, multi-instrumentalist, professional musician, and business owner. We've got Neil Newcomb. I'm going to bring Neil out here. Neil, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What do you have for breakfast today?
Let's see here. We've got a smorgasbord. Got some eggs, some toast, bacon, and some mango.
That's fantastic.
It's very good. I didn't make any of it, so it's good.
Well, I don't know. I've had your grilling.
But if it's anything else, it's utter dog crap. So this is delicious.
So Amy made that.
Yes. My lovely wife, Amy.
Fantastic. And if anybody that's watching wants to let us know what you're eating, let us know in the chat box. So Neil, thank you for joining me this morning.
Absolutely.
And waking up early and humoring me this morning. For those that don't know Neil Newcomb, can you give yourself a brief introduction of who you are and where you come from? Anything applicable?
I guess I'm Neil. I'm a saxophonist, clarinetist, and flautist, much like John is. I'm originally from South Boston, Virginia. Not South Boston, but South Boston that you've never heard of. That's where I'm from. I moved to Georgia when I was in 8th grade. Picked up the saxophone then, and got really serious with it. And started taking lessons with Sam Skelton when I was about 15, and started doing really well. Went to my undergraduate degree, got it in performance. I was actually doing, for a while, I was doing education and performance, but I decided that I don't like children, so I just went with performance. And did that and started playing more and paying my dues and working on a regular basis. And about 6 years ago, I opened my repair business, Atlanta Prowinds, which specializes in the repair, overhaul, or modification of any wind instrument, and as of recent, string instruments. So we have a team of very specialized individuals who are good at what they do, and so yeah, I guess that's an intro, right? I don't know.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm my audio. I have my audio control
Ooh.
in a different spot this week, so I'm dealing with that. Many apologies.
That's all right.
Well, you had told me that you'd recently been checking out Donny Mccaslin and his new album Blow. That's correct.
2018, but yeah, that's the one I've been listening to a bunch. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a track off it that we can listen to here, just so we can get started and take a moment just to eat some food. So this is Donny Mccaslin track "Break the Bond" off of
it's a good
Blow, and when checking out this album, I learned a term that I hadn't really seen before, and that's pop art music, which is what this is. So Donny Mccaslin, fantastic saxophone player. And we'll get this track playing. We'll eat some breakfast here, and we'll return with Neil in just a couple moments. we'll come back in and we'll have this playing a little bit in the background here. Got a couple more minutes left in the track, but let me bring Neil back here. And so Neil,
hello.
hello. You had said that you had recently expanded your repair business by adding a luthier and everything. So
Yes.
I wanted to briefly talk about, or maybe not so briefly. We'll see how it times out. But talk about Atlanta Prowinds, your company that you started. How long has Atlanta Prowinds been in existence?
As an entity, 2017 is when I filed for the business paperwork and all that stuff. I had already been doing it for a while at Carreri Music in Doraville, and I just decided it was time to start my own thing. So 2017, so I guess almost 3 years as far as a recognized business. So
yeah, and I don't know the actual numbers, but it seems like your business is growing, especially with the addition of a luthier to expand your services. Is there, any one thing that maybe you attribute to being able to expand that business and build upon it without it becoming stagnant?
I'm not sure if I understand the question, but I mean, it's always just trying to be consistent and outgoing and trying to meet a demand. I've had so many people who enjoy our work with woodwinds, for example, that the opportunity just kind of fell into our court to be like, hey, do you guys do string repair? And no, we didn't. And none of my folks at the time did either, because we're all saxophonists and woodwind doublers. So when the opportunity kind of just landed, there was no way I was going to say no to it. There's got to be somebody who needs to work. And I luckily ran across, thanks to Sam, Francisco Laura, who's he's actually working, you remember Delbert Felix,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, he's actually rebuilding Delbert's bass right now, and it's absolutely incredible to watch it. I probably should be sharing it to grow more business, but it happens. So, but yeah, man, I mean, he's absolutely phenomenal. And none of us are getting stagnant with like, oh, this is as good. We're always trying to get better at what we do. Whether it's studying with someone, calling someone, the best things that we get are the things that we get stuck on, because when we get stuck on them, we have to find a way out. And that usually means calling people who have been doing it longer or more experienced to be able to provide that professional service to our customers, and always expanding on our knowledge and,
Yeah. I follow that. And that I think can tie over really to a whole lot of things. Every once in a while I'll have, someone reach out to me asking for help and then apologizing for reaching out as if it's, some abnormal thing to do, which really in most cases it's not. And reaching out to those with the experience, it's super invaluable. That's been tradition for so long.
Yeah, you never. I mean, it's such a cliche and oversaid, but you never stop learning. And if you think you have, you probably don't know what you're doing. So, and I mean, same thing. I mean, how many times have I asked flute playing questions to flute players? Like, yeah, of course, it's the same it's the same deal. And most of the time, most people are generous and kind, and will talk to you about it. And if they're not, then they're not worth your time, you know. But for the most part, even in repair world or whatever, you just ask, and the information is right there, and hopefully they'll be sweet enough to provide it. So,
yeah, absolutely. So I was, you know, I tell people that Neil is the only person that I'll have work on my instrument, and that's true. He's the only person that's touched my instrument in the past at least 10 years.
yeah, so
Now,
blame me. I got it.
It's, you know, it's been probably 2 years since Neil's last touched it, and it definitely needs, you know, some loving care from him, but it's still, you know, it still is very much functional, and sounds great. But I wanted to ask you what maybe the most disgusting or strangest repair instance that you come across. And immediately I think of myself, that time that I brought you my horn, and we cleaned out the neck and everything, which was that is burned into my memory. All of the really gross stuff that came out.
Yours was not even remotely the most disgusting that I have seen. So you shouldn't feel so bad. So
that makes me feel worse, actually.
Yeah, if there's any chance of me getting COVID, it's during me cleaning out these saxophone necks. It's treacherous. So it's like grabbing dog turds out of a bag. It's terrible.
Oh my gosh. What do you have one that like sits out in your mind as being really an experience you never want to relive in repair?
I'm afraid that people are watching this that might be the people I'm talking about, but in particular, I know the person that won't care at all. Darren English's trumpet might have been the grossest thing that I have worked on. And I know he's watching right now. I took out his entire trumpet, the solders had popped on it. So we're like trying to fix it right before a gig. And I start taking apart, and it was just like cream of corn he just commented. He said cream of corn came out of it. It was quite gross. But I mean, I see everybody's nasty stuff all the time. So it's like not really that big of a deal. So.
Yeah, I mean, especially like mine. I can't imagine anything worse than that. It looked. I want to give a good visual, but I also don't want to ruin anybody's breakfast. So maybe
it's like if you take a snake and you go down the drain, and you grab, you know, like in the bathroom sink, and you grab all that hair and you pull it out. Well, it's all of that brown stuff, but without the hair. Or in some cases there is a hair. So, and it smells like Bigfoot's. Bigfoot.
It just smells like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. It smells like Bigfoot.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you've worked on some notable players' horns, I know.
Yeah.
Who? I don't know. Go ahead, name drop, or drop maybe your favorite horn that you've worked on.
Oh, I don't really know if I want to name drop, because all of my customers are important to me. I do get people who maybe play with bigger acts and stuff like that drop through all the time. But you know, my favorite people are the ones that I hang out with and I see all the time. Not that I'm not discrediting all the more famous players or whatever, but you know, I see John Sanford all the time, and Matt Miller and Luke Wethington, and all these great guys around the city. And I like seeing them a lot, and I like working on their horns too. So, and it's also, you get that instant thing where you're playing with someone, and and they're being successful, and you've helped them be successful. So it's that's kind of more of my thing. So, but if you want to name drop, you can feel free to do that. But not my bag.
No, it's all right. I know you've. Well, how about one? Just because I admire
just one.
Just one.
Just one. Just one.
You work on you've worked on Jeff Coffin's horn before, is that correct?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I have. He was in town 2 years ago. He was playing with Humphreys McGee at the Tabernacle, and his soprano. They were doing. Dave Matthews was doing something in West Palm Beach, and Rashawn, the trumpet player, as trumpet players do, kind of bumped into Coffin's soprano and caused the bell to kind of go up just a little bit, So, which is not really that hard for repairs. It tapped it down, hung out for a while, and it was cool to see him. And his soprano is a custom R, the 82ZR Yamaha. So it's a straight piece with the bent thing like Branford was doing back in the 90s. Probably the best soprano I have ever played on. And not sure. I've seen many 82ZRs, and that one, for whatever reason, I guess it's because it's his horn and he's had all everything done to it. It's an incredible saxophone. So you just pick it up. You pick it up and it just goes. So
you gotta love instruments like that. Where
versus the ones I work on most of the time, and no matter how much work you put into it, it's still like playing on a dog turd. I don't know.
Playing like a dog turd, and just like cleaning the instruments is like reaching into a bag of
cesspool.
Dog turds.
Cesspool. Yeah, it's great.
It's dirty. It's dirty work. Someone's got to do it.
I have to say, between your shirt content at the top and my content of discussing horns, this is great content.
Right? Yeah. What could be better than taking two socially inept people who normally are probably better at communicating through music. And
no, have you heard me play? No.
That's not true. You're a great player.
Oh,
you want to get gigs. You want to get gigs. If you well, right now, what a word that hasn't slipped off the tongue in a while, huh?
Yeah, we're all in the same boat, though. That's the good news, is we're all in good company. So we're all unemployed. It's what it is,
Yeah, that's true. Now, I did say I was going to quiz you today.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I hope you're ready. It's a handful of questions.
A handful of questions.
A handful, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about something that you enjoy, which is
we're not. Oh,
well, we're gonna do a little quiz first on Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Neil does enjoy dinosaurs.
Yes, Neil does have some autism, is what you're saying, I believe.
I said dinosaurs.
Yeah, well, you can actually see one in the back.
Oh.
Right. See the little light right there? That's one. And then on my mantle, never mind. There's a dinosaur bust over my mantle. So
I'm familiar with the one you're speaking of.
Yes. Yes.
I've seen it. You had that in the bathroom at one point, is that right?
Yeah, we had it in the bathroom. But since moving to this new house, we feel like it needed to be promoted to a more centralized look. Well, I felt that. Amy doesn't agree, but
well,
it's there. So
yeah, it's there now. All right, Jurassic Park trivia.
Go.
For Neil.
Shoot.
This ranges from difficulty easy to hard. Number 1, and these are multiple choice, by the way.
Oh, good.
Number 1,
All right.
Jurassic Park was directed by A.
Steven Spielberg.
Oh,
sorry.
The choices. You got to wait for the choices, man. You don't want to get. I know it's an easy question, but pace it out. All right.
But more content. I got it. We're stretching. I got it. Yes.
A. Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Ew. B. Steven Spielberg. C. Stefan Goldman. Or D. Tyler Perry.
I want to see Tyler Perry, but Steven Spielberg, as I've already said. Actually, Quentin Tarantino and Tyler Perry, that would be incredible.
A group movie. That, I'll get my producers on it. And
produced by Danny Trejo. It'd be great.
All right, 1 for 1. That's fantastic. Jurassic Park trivia question number 2. Again, these are ranging in difficulty, easy to difficult.
Okay.
Number 2, the inventor of the B3 model electric organ shares a last name with the businessman who created Jurassic Park, John Blank. A. Hancock. B. Casio. C. Yamaha. Or D. Hammond.
Hammond.
D.
Hammond. This is the nerdiest conversation.
That's right. It's got to be done. I mean, it really does. Okay, that's 2 for 2. Fantastic. You're on a good roll. Question number 3. Jurassic Park was built on this fictional island off the coast of Costa Rica. A. Easter Island. B. Isla Nublar. C. New York City. Or D. Isla Nebulizer.
Isla Nublar.
That's right. B.
Yeah.
Isla Nublar. Very good. Very good. That's 3 for 3.
I think you missed. I think you missed an E. I think Muppet Treasure Island would be pretty good too.
Oh, gosh. By the way, I did write these questions. I did my best.
Oh, you did great. You did great.
Number 4. Finish this quote, originally spoken by Samuel L. Jackson.
Are we allowed to curse?
Hold on to your blank. A. Hats. B. Hoagie. C. Butts. D. Toes. What did he say? Hold on to your hats. Hold on to your hoagie. Hold on to your butts. Or hold on to your toes.
Before I answer, if it was a Tarantino movie, John, how do you think he would have? How do you think he would have finished the quote? Hold on to your.
It would include. I would imagine a line that Samuel L. Jackson has spoken.
I am trying to bait so hard right now. It's not working. It's hold on to your butts. Hold on to your butts.
That's right. And please save the baiting for, I don't know, another time. But very good. Yeah, that's right. Hold on to your butts was the line. I thought I would have you. I thought I would have you with hoagie.
Hold on to your Samsonite.
Yeah. All right. Question number 5. You're on a roll. The film, released in 1993, is based on a novel of the same name, published in what year? A. 1990. B. 1776. C. 2004. Or D. The Year of the Rat.
I'm not sure if 1990 is the year of the rat or not, but 1990.
1990 is correct.
Ah, good.
That's fantastic. Number 6. To get the famous this is the last one.
Oh, okay.
By the way, yes.
What do I win?
You win pride in knowing that you have completed this.
So it's like every live streaming gig that's being offered right now. That's great.
Yes. Painfully true. Question number 6. To get the famous water ripple in the cup as the T-Rex approached. This technique was used. A trained Tyrannosaurus Rex was hired to stomp on command. B, both industrial lights and magic were used. C, a guitar string passed through the car, connected to the cup, was plucked by a crew member. Or D, they played Marilyn Manson at full volume in the car.
Well, it's the guitar string, and it was very interesting how they even came up with it. Guitar string.
Yes, and do you want to share the background to how that was come up with? Because I know they had difficulty with getting that effect originally.
Yeah, it was just by chance that some engineer just came up with ideas like, well, what if we take out under that dashboard, which was just a set piece, if they just rig a string all the way across it, and when it flicks and hits right underneath the cup, that causes the ripples to go out. So I'm not sure even how that guy came up with that idea, because that's a very bizarre bit of knowledge that he has to know that a guitar string, when struck underneath of a small plastic cup of water, will make a ripple. But it worked. So
yeah, so I actually read up on it because I knew that much of the background.
Yeah.
But I read up on it last night, and the idea originally came from he was listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire in his car. And,
yeah. Okay, yeah, I know what you're.
And noticed the ripple happening on certain notes, and then he went home and tested with different instruments and had a guitar and a cup of water, and realized that when certain notes were plucked, the water would vibrate. And that inspired the idea behind using that method that turned out to be pretty chilling to see in the movie. It was really effective.
Yes, right? Chilling, to say the least. Yes, enthralling, embalming.
Very embalming, yeah.
Yes, that's a Three Stooges joke, but
yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on. Not everybody is up with their Three Stooges.
That's fine, unless they're 90 years old. I get it. So
yeah, not most of the audience, I don't think.
It's not our target demo.
Not the target demographic. All right. So you mentioned earlier about paying dues and all of that, and that's something that is very much a thing, not just in music but in all business, really.
Yeah.
Would you care to recount maybe one or two of the least? Oh gosh, what's a nice way to put this?
No, you can put it mean. It means fine too.
What's what are maybe one or two of your worst gigs that you played, or like worst gig experiences?
Well, worst gig experiences would get me in trouble, but I could talk about Bizarre or Bizarre. I think is
Bizarre
probably
works, yeah.
Yeah. So I got this was back in 2000. Ooh, Amy might remember 2008, 2009, something like that. It's like kind of at the height of everyone being unemployed from the last recession. And I got called to do this gig by this agency. I don't think it was an agency, but they called me to play this restaurant gig, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you'll know all the tunes. It'll be fine, and just bring your saxophone." I was like, "Okay, which one to bring?" You know, being the young student I was like, "Oh, should I bring my tenor? Should I bring my alto?" You know, didn't know what either of those were. So I show up to this place, and I don't quite remember where it was at, but this guy shows up, and he he's wearing like crocodile skin boots, which no judgment cast against crocodile skin boots, but they tend to bring along a certain type of person. And he sets up and he has like a karaoke machine, right? And he sings over the karaoke machine, and there's like a little dot that goes, and the dot would get to a part, it would say sax solo, and it would go really slow for the duration of the saxophone solo, and it was not in time, and it was, so I played with a karaoke crooner, and I made a whopping $75, which I guess that's more than what we can pay right now. But
Yeah, that sounds pretty good right about now.
yeah, 75 bucks, buddy. So that's one.
That's good. You know, I'll share one because I think it's only fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll talk bizarre then. So there was a period where I was working at Toys R Us and gigging playing weddings.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, and that was due to Neil with the group that he played with. That he played with them.
Well said.
And so this gig, right? I at the time I was working overnight at Toys R Us, and this obviously wedding receptions tend to happen in the evenings. So I normally would wake up for my day in the afternoon. You sleep during the day and work during the night. So
like a vampire.
And this gig was in Fort Payne, Alabama, which is not very close to Tallahassee. Maybe 3 or 4 hour drive. So I drove out to Fort Payne and played this wedding reception and started my way back home. And as I was driving down the highway, the thickest fog I've ever seen in my life slowly was descending further and further down, like to road level. Like as I was driving down the highway, and there was no other cars around. This was probably around midnight at this point. This fog was just slowly, over about an hour, lowering onto the road until it got all the way down, and it was like trying to look through milk. That's the only, like, I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, you thought you had a cataract. Yeah,
I thought I had died and gone to hell. And that's true. It was so bizarre. There was no other cars. I had to drive so slow. That drive that should have taken 3 or 4 hours took me like 7 hours because of how slow I had to drive. The fog did not let up until like 30 miles from Tallahassee. So I was like probably 25 miles per hour on the highway, driving through thick fog. And
were you in the Yaris that Amy hit?
Yes, I was in the Yaris, and those that aren't familiar with the Yaris, it's a very small vehicle.
Mouse-like vehicle.
It is. Yes. It's a clown car. It's it is classified as a subcompact vehicle, or yes, a subcompact, smaller than a compact car. So driving and not being able to see anything in front of you, that's scary, right?
Yes.
And so that, I think that is probably for me, like the most bizarre.
It sounds like you had an existential crisis while you were doing this.
I really did, because I'd never seen fog, one, last that long, two, be that thick with two C's.
Yeah.
And it really, like, it messed with me because
you have PTSD from it.
it's obviously it's stuck with me.
Yeah, I had one that I remember was doing sort of like that, but it has to do with whether it was I was playing with Michael Feinstein at the Botanical Gardens here in Atlanta, and good band was put together, and it's the middle of July, and we have the rehearsal, on the stage, and the only place that the sun was directly hitting was the baritone and bass trombone chair. So just me and Lee Watts getting baked by the sun. And we go through the entire rehearsal, and it's fine, it's hot, it's miserable. So we come out to play the concert, and the bottom falls out. So the only chair that got hit from the rain was the baritone chair, which my baritone sax became like a rain reservoir, and the bass clarinet became a rain reservoir. And of course, I also had my clarinet, which just became a wet stick because I was stupid enough to carry my wood clarinet outside. So that was a joyous occasion. So,
Well, I guess silver lining is that you at least know a good repair person.
yeah, you got his number? That fell flat. All right. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to do that.
No, it's all right. I was talking about you, of course.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah, right, sure.
Yes. Neil is a very good repair person, despite what he says. Now, if there were some questions that I know people had submitted to you earlier, and then if anybody else has any questions as I'm going through these questions with Neil, please throw those in the chat box. If you're watching on Facebook, throw those out there as well. And we'll go through these. So the first one came from our pal, Corey Johnson.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we'll talk about this briefly. So his question that he had was about the abundance of virtual instruments and synthesized instruments and how it impacts live musicians.
That's a big freaking topic, because it's an issue with theater companies and stuff too, because tracks is a very common thing, and it's been taking jobs away from freelance musicians for a long time. And I mean, as far as studio work, I mean, it's just how it is. It's also driven down the cost of doing live work. Like there's no set studio rate anymore, because you're having to negotiate with a machine, which a machine, once you buy it for however much money it is, you have it. So why are you going to then hire someone who's may do something in 1 to 4 takes if they suck, and have to pay more money for it? So I don't know if that answers the question. It just
I'm not sure if there's really, an actual question there, because undoubtedly it affects, it affects us as performers. I mean, without a doubt. It's the natural course of things, having the ability to sample, a saxophone and recreate it. So,
yeah, I think I like, not to get too political, but a really good metaphor for like someone like Andrew Yang, who talks about a universal basic income and the fear of automation, is the music industry. We're the first folks that have actually had to pay from automation. Like, how it's difficult to automate something, make it sound exact, but it's not exactly difficult to fool people. So
that is very true. And there are still companies out there that prefer to use live musicians.
There's a monumental amount of them too.
Yeah,
so yes.
and that's that's the saving grace, because that's a a synthesized sound is not a performer. And there's a big difference between recreation of music and performance of music, obviously, which that will hopefully never end. But
it won't. It won't be in our lifetime, But
yeah,
I'm
sure it'll happen eventually, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that there's still an audience for the the live and the entertainer. There's still a market for it. Obviously, it's it's been hurt significantly by.
Yeah, but I mean, we're always anytime there's something like what we have going on right now. Although this is the only one I've had in my lifetime. Actually, most people could say that. Entertainers, being musicians, comedians, sports entertainers, if you want to look at sports and stuff, but we're the first folks that get the cut. And we're all also the last one to feel the rebound, but it will rebound because there is a demand for it. There's a reason why Live Nation hasn't gone completely bankrupt yet. So
right. Yeah. I agree. All right, so we've gone a little over 45 minutes, which is completely fine. I don't think anybody really minds that. But Neil, we're gonna start closing out.
Sure.
And do you have any, I don't know, let's say pieces of advice or things that you maybe wish someone had shared with you, in your earlier developments, that you want to share with any musicians that may be watching?
Sure. The power of saying no versus the power of saying yes is a tool that we need to start utilizing more as artists and performers. Being like, right now, should we come together and play right now? No, because it's better for the greater good of society. Should I go play this theater gig for $50 a service? No, because it drives down the cost of playing shows. So I think we need to start getting more in the mindset of that we have the power by saying no, and the demand is still there. So eventually it will work in our favor. So the power of no, in addition to the power of yes. So
hey, that is a fantastic message, and one that hopefully, I mean, gosh, if everybody followed that advice, boy, how better things would be with getting, what I would say fair pay for musicians, and getting back to what it really should be. But that is a really great thing. The power of no. Sticking to standards, and not just accepting something because you need it,
Yeah. Yes. Or you're being bullied into doing it too.
That's right. Yeah. And unfortunately that happens. And
yes.
I know that's happened to me.
It happens all the time. Yeah. It still does. So
it sure does. Well, so Neil can be found, and his services can be found at. Let me make this public. I'm putting a link out there. It's AtlantaProwinds.com. www.AtlantaProwinds. That's Atlanta, ATLANTA, PROWINDS.
Mm-hmm.
All one word. AtlantaProwinds.com, where you can check out Neil. You can learn more about his team. You can see some
Instagram and Facebook are the two big things that we do. So check us out there as well. So
Facebook.com. Is it the same?
It's Atlanta Prowinds. If you just search it on Facebook, it'll come up. On Instagram, it's ATL Prowinds.
That's right. I'm going to put that on there.
Ooh.
At ATL Prowinds. That's right. And Neil Newcomb, his personal account on there for Instagram, as well as his business one. If you want, I enjoy Neil's humor and his personality because, you know, it's very close to my own.
You've grown calloused. I see. Yes.
We've been friends for a long while. And then let's see. So we got you on there. Today also marks the release of my first CD as a band leader.
Ooh.
The bass player that I toured with on the world famous Glenn Miller Orchestra, Aaron Krings. So our album entitled Now Hear This is now available through Bandcamp. So you can actually, I'll put a link to that in the chat box, but it's just my name, John Olenek, JONOLEJNIK.bandcamp.com. Let me get an actual link on there.
Oh, I see it right there. Yeah, because your name is very easy to spell.
Yes. Wow, that is just not doing as a link.
A lot of O's.
A lot of. Let's see here. I'll get that put in there and see if I can type as I talk. Each week we've been closing out with Oscar Peterson's "Hymn to Freedom," so that's what's playing in the background here. Goodness gracious. 1 second here. Or, you know what, without me getting to the link here, if you search on Bandcamp for Now Hear This, you should see that there. So that is some big news.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Neil, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yes, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah, this has been an experience. Thank you again for joining me this morning and, rising very early.
Very early.
Very, very early. I know you don't get up early to begin with. But I appreciate you joining me, and you're like a brother to me.
Brother John.
That's right. And thank you all that are watching and have watched throughout this. Let me get a link put out there for this album as we finish out.
And if you're trying to drop off a horn, just keep texting me because I'm a little delinquent right now. So
yeah, hopefully everybody will understand that's trying to get their horn fixed. But also, you accept shipped horns as well. You're taking.
Oh yeah. See here, I have one coming in a couple of weeks. It's just right now with shipping, it's kind of weird with not having any idea when it's going to get here exactly. So I've told people, if you're shipping, let's try to schedule it out ahead of time. But yes, I get a lot of mouthpieces shipped to me because that's a little bit easier to ship. So
yeah. And you are refacing mouthpieces now as well.
Yeah. I've done a few this week, and I don't want to do stainless steel mouthpieces for a while. So my hands are killing me. So yeah.
I can imagine that. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. Get back to your weekend, and I'll let everybody else go and get back to your mornings.
Yes, happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Yes, it's weird. We're all home. Yay.
Yeah, that's right. It's a long weekend for all of us.
Yeah, every day's a long weekend.
Well, thank you again for joining me for Saturday Morning Breakfast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll see you all next week, next Saturday at 10:30 a.m. on Zoom. Thank you again, and please take care.
Baba Booey.
Baba. I'll see you later, Neil.
See you, dude.
Bye.
Bye.